Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about Easter, and really, I want to say that, well, firstly, as many of you may know, some of you may not, but I think majority of you know out there that Easter is a holiday, uh, comes annually, of course, and it's about the celebration and commemoration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ, for those who do believe that, of course. Now, the thing about this is that you have during Easter time you see a plethora of activities. You see Easter bunnies. You have this Easter egg hunting, which is very traditional, and you have people at church congregations. Uh, there's more activity in church congregations, I should say, and people getting together for Easter. There's more, like, in lack of a better word, excuse for family members to get together and have reason to for fellowship and for talking, for sociability between these family members. And really, the thing about it is that I think what we have to realize as far as Easter or any holiday, that there's so many people out there that can't even enjoy the holidays. And I saw something on TV one day. I mean, I've seen it a number of times. Many of you may have seen. There's a commercial advertisement that talks about something about 500,000, I guess, approximate number of children would go blind this year due to vitamin A deficiency. And I looked on Wikipedia.org to confirm this, and I saw reading a statement, I should say, that said it was between 250,000 and 500,000. Well, whatever it is, in the hundred thousands, I mean, if it's at least 250,000, then it's obviously a lot of people. And the point I'm making is that there are so many people out there that are facing oppression and are in impoverished situations, that are dealing with debilitations, that may not even enjoy Easter. People going blind can't obviously even have a visual of it, whether they are, are whether they celebrate it or not. So there's not even any potential to really enjoy it if you can't really see something. Yes, people can improvise and hear, but it's not the same as actually having sight, of course. And I have to consider myself very blessed. As many of you may know, I don't want to sound overly redundant with this, but I have my own limitations. I don't have anybody that I'm going to be spending Easter with, and it's, for me, I mean, compared to what some other people go through, maybe it's not a whole lot. Maybe it's not something that's that traumatic. And I have to remember that, like, for me in my situation, that I'm able to at least have subsistence and sustenance. I can get up in the morning. I'm going to be able to still enjoy Easter, maybe by myself now. But I might be able to maybe I'll get myself maybe something halfway decent to eat tomorrow. Maybe I'll enjoy Easter tomorrow. And the thing is, there are many people that are obviously worse off. I think what happens is we get in trouble a lot when we start comparing ourselves to others. And the thing about it is, one can't be indignant and say, well, this person has more than me, than I have. We're all affluent in our own way. And the thing is, many of us may not have $1 million, but it doesn't mean we're not rich in spirit or rich in something. We all have some kind of ability or some kind of blessing. I believe all of us do have. Whether we're not all necessarily cognizant of it, our finite minds can't always grasp it. But the thing about it is, I mean, it does. I think what happens is, why the holidays can be, including Easter, can be negative. For a reason why it's negative for a lot of people is because, like, I'll give you an example. Like with me in my case, in spending Easter alone, I think sometimes it makes us give a reflection of ourselves. And we become despondent, and we succumb to depressed states sometimes because of this. But we have to remember we're just because there's nobody with us. Those of you out there, most of you that watch us are going to have somebody that you're going to celebrate Easter with, I'm sure. But what I'm saying is, if there's a few out there that see this that don't have anybody, I can empathize and relate 100%. So guess what? You're not alone in a way, because there's other people like you, like me, that are in that situation, that predicament, or whatever you want to call it. But I think what's important is to not let it become a strong reflection of ourselves if we don't have anybody to spend it with, because we're all important out there. I mean, real evil, nefarious people, I don't see them as really significant. I'm just voicing my honest opinion on that. But most of us out there are important. We have our gifts, we have our positive attributes. And I have to look at it like this: if there was nobody that thought I was worth the trouble of spending Easter with, you know what? It's their loss. That's how I have no choice but to perceive it or see it that way. And the thing about it is, I think most of us just have to remember, whether we're spending Easter with someone or not, that don't get caught up in someone that has so much more than you on this holiday, or any other holiday for that matter, because I think that's when we start to get into trouble at that point in time. And the Easter holiday is something. I mean, we're gonna there's gonna be people out there that celebrate it, but as the saying goes, "This day too shall come to pass," and it does. It does come. It does go, and life does go on. And there's always tomorrow. And remember that just because there might be something negative affecting somebody on this holiday doesn't mean the next time around won't be better, because it could very likely will be that way. And I think those are some things to look at, and it's very important to really see things like that. I mean, I've had people in what's happened, interestingly enough to me. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there has experienced this. I'm sure you have at some point. It's like you'll write people, and you'll have some communication with people, and it inexplicably stops. You wonder if you said something wrong to the person, or why this is happening. Why has your communication dissipated? And it really, it's not something. Some things you can't do anything about. And things like that, sometimes you can only take the axe to the grindstone, so to speak, so many times. And a lot of times people, I think, they just have so many things going on in their own life. They become so engrossed in what they're doing. They just it's not necessarily malicious, but they kind of forget about you to some degree, because they have so many other things to take precedence. And if you feel that someone's forgotten about you around this holiday, just remember, a lot of times it's not personal, and it's probably, it may be more on them than it has anything to do with you. And not everybody's going to be consistent in their communications, and really just be there all the time. A lot of people out there, unfortunately, are very self-centered as well. Not to make excuses for everybody. A lot of times it's not a negative situation, but there's a lot of people out there that are they're so engrossed in their own lives, and they're so wrapped up in themselves, that they really don't think about others a lot, and they're just trying to do their own thing, and they're so obsessed with self-preservation too. So if you feel that someone's forgotten about you on the holiday or something, it's just important not to worry about it. Remember, if people, the way I look at it is, if someone told me one time, said, "Hey, Eddie, um, if they can forget about you, you can forget about them." It's as simple as that. Because what happens is, you start thinking about those people that have essentially forgotten about you. What's happening? You're essentially worrying about somebody that's very apathetic toward you, and that really, and what is that accomplishing? Absolutely, you're right, absolutely nothing. So anyway, I think the basic message I'm conveying is to just try to look at the positive that comes to you, that's around you on this holiday, and try not to accentuate the negative about on it. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube segment for Easter. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.